Welcome to At Home With. I'm Beth Fisher, ITV Wales' sports reporter. Obviously, during this lockdown, there's been absolutely no sport, but thanks to modern technology, I've managed to keep in touch with sportsmen and women across the country. Hope you enjoy. Hey Sol, welcome to At Home With. You are the first to be on this, so thank you very much for joining us. How are you feeling in lockdown?
It's very difficult for me to stay in because I'm normally always outside and doing stuff and everything. But nothing much, just staying in with the family and try to keep fit as well, which is not easy, but it's nothing else we can do.
Most of us take for granted going to the gym and stuff, but obviously as a professional athlete, I mean, when was the last time you probably didn't do a day of exercise outside?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Unfortunately, I'm one of those where I've got a lot of gym stuff in my garage, and we actually got a gym in our house as well. So I'm lucky I can use those machines, and we've been sent a program by the club. So I try to keep busy, but it's never the same. Obviously, I spoke to the gaffer yesterday, called me to see how I was and how the family, and he said obviously we can do as much as we can in the machine and with the program, but it's not the same as actually training. So it's very, very difficult. But the main thing is hopefully everyone's okay with the family, and I'm sure we're going to get through this.
And I've heard a lot from my friends, especially those with kids, that they're going a little bit mad. What have your kids been like?
Yeah, unfortunately, because my one are orders. So obviously they're always on a computer or playing PlayStation or reading the book. My miss is very, very on it to make sure they read the book or they do their homework, which is good. But my one's been good as gold, to be honest. So I'm lucky in that sense.
And have you done much teaching yourself? You got a specialist subject?
No, I'm out of it. The missus is a math teacher, so she's on it, making sure everything is in. Yeah, so I'm out of it. I'm really good myself. Try to keep busy, watch a bit of TV, do a bit of exercise, but that's about it. Walking the dog when I can, but that's about it, really.
Yeah, and it's come at a weird time, hasn't it? Because I think Cardiff are 2 points off the playoffs. So, you had a little bit of building momentum. So how is it mentally going to affect you guys, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Beth, I think when all that happened, like I said, first and foremost, everyone was worried about if they actually cancel the game and the league. That means it must be serious. So, first of all, we were all a bit worried about it because we didn't know more. We didn't know much about the virus, making sure the family is okay. But now, obviously, we further down the line, we're talking. We got a group chat where we always on it, and we feel like you said, it's unfortunate because we had the momentum. We were looking forward to play Leeds. We had a good week train, and we're ready to go. And unfortunately, obviously, it's the same for every team. So unfortunately, that happened. But we got a good group. Good stuff as well behind the scenes. So when we're going to come back, I'm sure we're going to be ready to push on for the playoff minimum.
And obviously for you as well, just coming back from your ACL, you getting back into the momentum of playing yourself. So, is this a bit of a frustrating time for you as well, personally?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you always going to be difficult to come back from a long-term injury. I knew that. I actually came back quicker than expected, to be honest. So
yeah, the doc said you were actually Superman speed. You came back.
No, I won't go that far, but I've been fortunate to have a good medical staff behind me, to be honest, and I've got good gene. That's what the doctor said as well. I recover very well, which I'm fortunate. And obviously the team was doing absolutely fantastic, so I just have to wait to be patient to get back involved. But like I always said, you know me a bit, Beth, the main thing for me is the team, is the club. So we're doing very, very well. I was happy. And I was just training and make sure when I'll be called on, I'll be ready.
Yeah, and you've had a really interesting kind of career. The way you started off being spotted in the streets of, in Paris, getting picked up by PSG. Talk to me about that, because I found that fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially back in Paris, I think I'm not the only one. I mean, I was just playing, following my brother. My mum wanted us out the house, no staying in the house, doing nothing. So I was just out on the street playing football, and some of my brother's friends said, "Oh, it's quite good, so you should go to a club." So I went to a club, near my house, and I've done well there. And some Paris Saint-Germain scout came in and watched me play, and as I said, I'm good enough to go to academy. But at that time, my mum and dad didn't want me to play football. Said football is no, it's just a game. You can that's no job. You have to become a doctor. You have to work with the school. But the scouts keep calling and coming to see my mum and my dad. And at some point, my dad said, "Well, you must be quite good if they carry on coming, so we're going to let you do it. But all I can say is just give everything you got. Just give your best, do your best shot, because I know you're not going to carry on doing school, so you have to make sure you do everything you can to make it. And if you're not and you did everything, it's fine, but you have to make sure you give everything you got." And that's how it started, and went to the academy and done well and managed to get all the way through to professional. But obviously Paris, the big club, is difficult, so I only played 2 professional games, and after that I moved to Scotland.
Yeah, and talk to me about your parents as well, because nowadays there's such a pressure on young boys and girls now to, fulfill this career, mainly because the amount of money involved. Do you think that's helped you, having parents who kind of supported you, probably away from football, wanting you to do something else?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a blessing, if I'm honest. And I've got kids myself now. A few of them start doing sport, and I'm the first one now to push them, not putting pressure on them, because first and foremost at this age, I always said, like, you have to enjoy it. I've got a lot of people texting me or message me and ask me, like, what advice can you give to your kids? And the first one I always said is let them enjoy as long as they can. And when you become serious at a certain age, when you think you can make a professional, you have to be there to support them, no put pressure on them. And mum and dad was very good on this. Never thought for 1 minute I would make it. They never thought it was something that can help myself and the family. So it was no pressure at all. Actually, when they first give me a contract and pay me, my parents couldn't believe it, And they said, he's not good enough to get that kind of money, really.
Like your parents,
so yeah, for me, it was
on the ground, is there?
Yeah, absolutely. And from a very young age, my mum and dad put that money on the side to make sure when I'm 18, I can get access to that money and look after myself. So I was fortunate to have good parents like that. Even my brother and sisters, I've got 3 older brothers, so they were looking after me as well. So I was fortunate.
Yeah, and you were only 21 when you moved to Scotland. And for a young man, that moving abroad, that's quite a big deal as well. Talk to me about that, because obviously, people go on years abroad, go to university, but then to be in a professional setup, away from your family, how did you find that?
Yeah, it was very, very difficult, but I think I was prepared in a way, because when I was at the academy from Monday to Friday, I wasn't in the house anyway. I was away because Paris Saint-Germain Academy is not actually in Paris. So it's outside of Paris. So for us to go to school in the morning and train in the afternoon, you needed to be away. So from Monday to Friday, I was away, and I was coming back Friday night to my parents' house. So I was kind of prepared, like being away from the family. So when I moved to Scotland, obviously it was a big change because I was in a different country and I couldn't see my mum and dad as often as I wanted to. But I was kind of prepared. But I think for me, the most difficult one, it was obviously moving to a completely different country, the language. I didn't know anybody there as well. So it was very, very difficult at the start. But I just get on with it. I used to go to school to learn English very quick. I used to sit after training. I used to sit in the dressing room just to listen to the players talk, so I can get what was they saying, but I couldn't understand a word because of the Scottish accent as well. So it was very, very difficult. But I think for me it was a very good experience as well, because to be there at 21 in a different country on your own, obviously I think it kind of made the person I am now.
So did you pick up a Scottish accent with your English?
Yeah, obviously, because when I moved there, I didn't speak any English at all. So I learned my English there and I picked up the accent. And I remember when I left Scotland after 4 years and I signed for Leicester, and I went down there and I had the press conference, and I was talking, and all the journalists there was just laughing. And I was like, And I said, "Oh, why is it so funny?" And they were like, "Oh, we never seen this before." A French guy from Paris moving to Scotland and coming down in England and speaking with a Scottish accent. We never seen that before. But I think over the years I lost it, so I think it's no bad thing.
Yeah, and obviously you moved down to Leicester, then Leeds, obviously you were big rivals of Cardiff, and then you've come to Wales. And I'm obviously going to prompt you on this, but out of all, England, Scotland and Wales, where are you preferring, which is the nicest country to live in? Trick question, I guess.
It's a tough one. I think I have to say Wales because of the countryside. I have to be honest. Even where I live now, between Penarth and Sully, I'm by the seas. It's beautiful weather at the minute. I love the nice and quiet where I can walk and relax with my kids or my dogs. So I think you can't beat Wales when it comes to this. I had the chance as well to visit a bit up, going up near Swansea. I'm not going to say that too loud. It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the world up there as well. So, I mean, yeah, I think definitely it's nicer to live here because I like the countryside and the sea. But I had a good time in Leeds as well, I have to be honest.
And talk to me about your time at Cardiff, because it's been, there's been a massive highs and there's been some lows, but there's a passion and a spirit around Cardiff City, isn't there, that very kind of is quite unique.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it all, Beth. I think, like I always said before, I don't think I experienced anything like this before, and that's why I feel I don't take it for granted, first of all, and I absolutely love it because the way the people make me welcome here with my family, I think I've never seen that, and I never had it anywhere, and I've been in different countries, Italy, Turkey, I've been in Scotland, I've been up and down the country in England, and I never had this before. And like you said, it's weird, it's kind of hard to explain because I feel like it's similar back in Africa because it's a small community and everyone know each other and they want to make sure you well look after. Even when you walk in the street, some people don't necessarily recognize me, but they're nice, just smiling and say hello to you. And I've been in, as you know, London is not like this. England is not like this either. So, I mean, it's very, very difficult to explain, but I know for a fact even when I stop playing for Cardiff, there's a good chance I'll be living in here because I like the country, I like the people, and the way the people make me feel welcome. I definitely want to raise my kids here.
And obviously, you had that kind of era in the Premiership, and it was difficult, at the end with Neil Warnock, and he went. It's time for rebuilding, isn't it, at Cardiff? And I guess there's some frustration around fans about the style of play. But from a player's point of view, what would you say about that?
No, I think, like you said, we need to rebuild. I think we had a great couple of years with the manager. Obviously, me personally, I'm always gonna like him and feel grateful because he brought me to the club. We had success together. We had a very good relationship as well. We're still talking now. But obviously, football is a business result. We had a couple of bad ones before he left, and he felt like he couldn't have done any more, so he decided to go. And I think, like you said, now we need to rebuild, and we need to give a chance to the new manager now, and we need to give a chance as well to the owners to make sure they will rebuild the club, and ultimately the main target is to go back to the Premier League as soon as we can.
Yeah, and in terms of your view, I mean, do you feel that you could play on for a few more years? How are you feeling body-wise?
Yeah, I feel good. I think I have to be honest. I came back very, very quickly from the injury. The knee is absolutely fine, but what I found very difficult is if there's the fitness to the side of it, the sharpness, and be able to play more games. And obviously, I was out for a couple of months, so it's always difficult to get the fitness back on. And I think that's why I need to play a bit more to feel completely fit. But apart from that, I feel completely fine. I know I'm 35, but I still got another year, plus another year, an option on my contract. So I'm going to play as long as I can. But if I enjoy it, the minute I won't enjoy it anymore, I will stop because I always said I want to stop before the football stop me, if you like. So I'm never going to carry on just for the money or just for. If I feel like I don't have it anymore and I can't do it, I will be the first one to stop. So at the minute, that's not the case. I feel good. So I'm probably going to play for another year or two.
And this break is a weird feeling, isn't it? Because I don't think people quite appreciated the way sport plays a role in our lives, whether that's playing or watching or listening to on the radio. There's been a lot of kind of talk around football, you know, with racism and, you know, homophobia chants, blah, 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 blah. Do you think this break may give us a chance to reflect and realise just how important football is to us and we should treat it a bit better?
Yeah, absolutely. I think even, I would go even further. I think it's sport in general because, like you said, now we're all bored in the house. There's no sport on TV. For you guys, like to report sport or football is very difficult. And I think it's good. It's a good break to make everyone realise how important the sport is in our life, and we definitely have to treat it better. You have to treat athlete or any sport better. You have to make sure they look after. You have to make sure they're in the right frame of mind, because obviously mental issues it's been a problem for the last couple of years. What is good is we start talking about it, and I think what people don't realise is sports people are exactly the same. They're human beings. They got problems. They got family. They got kids. They got wife, and sometimes it's not easy. And we definitely need to reflect on this and make sure we treat it better, because sport is something we all like, you know, and that's the best example. Now we don't have it on TV, and everyone is missing it.
And from your point of view, you know, as a seasoned professional now, when you talk to some of the younger boys and men coming through, kind of what's the one word of advice you give them?
It depends because obviously the fans seen the glory. Obviously, you're playing in front of million of people on TV or in the stadium. They've seen the fame, they've seen the money, the house, the cars. But I just seen like you have to do. First of all, it's something you have to like, because if you don't like it, I don't think you can do it. You can't perform, you can't enjoy it. And if you like it for the wrong reason, it won't last as well. So you have to love the game, you have to be passionate for it. And if you got that, you got a chance, and you have to give everything you got as well. You have to work hard, and I think that's the same for anything. If you're a journalist, you have to work hard to be successful, and I think that's the key.
Is football your main sport? Do you enjoy watching anything else? Rugby now you're in Wales?
Yeah, I watch it. Yeah, I watch a lot of sport. I watch rugby. I'm a big fan of tennis. I go to Wimbledon every year. I've been lucky the last couple of seasons. The manager's been good to me, so he let me go to Wimbledon. I go to the French Open when I can. I'm a big fan of tennis. I watch basketball. I'm a big fan of sport in general. The only one I don't really like, and everyone having a go at me for that, is golf, because I know everyone's playing golf, but I'm not a big fan of it.
Not got your golf swing quite right, eh?
No, not at all, no.
Obviously, we can't really have this conversation until we talk about Peter Whittingham. I know he was a teammate of yours. It's tragic in the most tragic of times, isn't it?
Yeah, but to be fair, Beth, I think I have to address something, because I was very, very not happy with it, and it was the few of us as well, because, you know, before the news broke out, we knew the close friend of him and obviously a few of his family. We knew he was in a critical condition for a couple of days, but for respect for his wife and his family, we didn't say it to anybody. And I think a few of the players we played with him, and a few of the media as well, brought the news saying he passed away, and he didn't at that time.
Yeah.
And I was very, very upset with it, because being in contact with him, his family, his wife, a few of the lads as well, Matthew Connolly, the dog as well, and David Marshall. We were very, very upset, because we still had hope it will make it through. But a few of the people was already out and said like rest in peace and all this, and that it drives me absolutely mad, because unfortunately social media, everyone want to be the first, and everyone want to put something like just to have some likes or whatever. We're talking about someone's life. His wife is pregnant, and I think that was out of order. But the news itself, that we were devastated, because me and Peter was very, very close, and his wife, his family, and it was a top man. I can't speak high of him. I love him to bits. From the first minute I got to the club, he was good as gold with me. We used to go out together for dinner, drinks, and everything. So I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when it happened, and I hope his family and his wife are going to be okay. But it was devastating news for all of us.
And I think that's maybe a lesson for everyone involved in social media. It can be such a great tool, but sometimes we forget that there's actually people behind profile.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I absolutely agree with you. And I hope maybe that's a lesson for people. Don't retweet anything or like thing unless you 100% know facts.
Exactly. And I hope that's the lesson, Beth, because I think, like you said, it's a great tool. Don't get me wrong. I think if you use it properly, I think it's good. But we really, really need to be careful. And I think it's the same when people abuse other people on it. And if it's used properly, it's good. But I hope this is a lesson for everyone to use it, but to be careful with it, because it could be devastating for a family.
Obviously, Cardiff fans will be watching this in the spirit of Peter Whittingham, his creativity and his absolute, ability to just pull something out of the bag. Do you hope that maybe when the season continues that you can maybe push for that playoff promotion place?
Yeah, I hope so, Beth. I hope so, because I remember we haven't been lucky, obviously, recently with a few of our players. When Salah as well passed away, I remember that goes together, the whole club, the whole team. And I think that hopefully that will do this exactly the same with Peter, because he was a legend of the football club. I think every single one of us love him because of the man he was. I think obviously football ability was unbelievable, but I think everyone will remember him because of the person he was. And hopefully when we're back in, that can go us together to do the last push to make that playoff places.
I certainly expect that you guys will, when you're all back together, I'm sure the Cardiff City family and the football family, because there was a lot of messages on there from other clubs as well.
Yeah.
His family, and send all our love, from everywhere. But thank you for being the first. I think you're the first person to be at home with. So at home with Sol Bamba in the coronavirus lockdown. Thank you, Sol Bamba. You are an absolute diamond. I think everyone will love watching this. I've enjoyed speaking to you. Thanks for being the first on At Home With. Enjoy lockdown. You know where we are if you get bored.
Appreciate that, Beth. Keep in touch.
Bye.